Hey everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of the New Vision podcast. I'm Christian, and normally I'm joined by Jordan, but today he's actually not here with us. I am joined by two other great people, though, my buddies Logan and Patrick. You guys care to introduce yourself?
Yeah, what's up, guys? My name is Logan, and when I first found out about Jordan and Christian wanting to do this New Vision podcast, I was very stoked about the idea. It's like different people can come together with different ideas, and I think you guys will definitely see over the course of this podcast that all of us have fairly strikingly different ideas, but we can still converse on them just the same. And we definitely have similarities as well, so I think it's going to be a good time. I'm really excited. Thanks for having me on, guys.
100%.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Hey, what's up? I'm Patrick, and honestly, like the first time I heard that Jordan and Christian wanted to do this podcast, I was really excited. Like, I've never done a podcast with anybody, so I thought it'd be really interesting, especially coming up with new ideas and just like different like political ideas that people are kind of like conversating about in today's world, and getting everybody's like like mindset on these different things. I thought it would just be really interesting.
Absolutely. And when Patrick, I gotta say, when you just said conversating,
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Logan and I were just talking about this like a couple hours ago about how like they put conversating in the dictionary, right? When conversing is like they already
had a word for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Conversating.
No, it's just.
Well,
it's
but it's colloquialism, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
that's
so, yeah.
That's how things go. Like, which actually tells you something, right? Like, culture can just like influence everything else.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, like, culture got a word into the dictionary. I mean, many words have come about this way, obviously, but
for years, ain't wasn't a word, and now it's actually officially a word. Like
congrats, ain't. I'm a fan of ain't.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good word. It's
nice
been disrespected for a long time. So I'll tell you, one of the things that's been on my mind. I know this has been on my mind last week, and you know that got scrapped. So here we are today, though. But big thing that's on my mind. Netflix. I know this has been blowing up for a while. Netflix had released this movie that everybody is just hating right now, called Cuties. I know you guys know about it. I'm not sure who doesn't know about it at this point. But the concerning thing for me is people trying to defend it. Because
first can I jump in and say, can you tell them, like, if they don't know, what
100%. I was just about to get into that. So what this movie is, it came from a French film director who I don't have the name of at this time right now, but essentially it was developed, the way the person puts it is it was supposed to be a film about kind of showing how the dangers of child sexualization in media and a bunch of other different things. And she apparently got this idea from seeing a performance very much like what is done in the movie in real life. And I can understand where she's coming from if she wanted to make a movie about that. I have no problem with that. The subject matter that she's tackling, yes, that's very difficult, obviously, but the way that she went about it, and not even necessarily the way that maybe she went about it, but the way the directors went about it with the filming and the camera angles and everything, and it was just, it's so much of it is just not, it's shot in such a way that it's like it's trying to be provocative with children, because these are 11-year-old children.
Goodness.
The plot of the movie is there's these, it's a group of 11, 12, maybe 13-year-old children who become involved in this, and Netflix initially even said that it was a twerk group, but then when they got so much shit for that, they started saying, they redefined their description and said it's a, alternative dance group or something like that.
There you go.
And they had this whole play on like, and she's against her conservative parents and all these different things who don't want her to do it, and there's all this different, it's a mess. And I tried to kind of, chalk it up to just bad marketing for a while on Netflix's part and everything. Like, they're just trying to sexualize children, which is fucked up in a lot of ways, obviously. But, like, then actually seeing, and I will up front say, I never saw none of us actually saw the movie. We didn't see the full, but we saw enough clips. And I know there are going to be people that are like, well, you can't judge something if you didn't see. No. you can judge the parts that you're judging at least for having seen that, and there are just a lot of really really uncomfortable scenes where they linger on shots of the way that these girls are dancing and the way that they're moving. And if you want to show them dancing and stuff, fine. If you're trying to like show this message of, okay, see, this is what they're doing is really horrible, but like, you don't then zoom in on their asses and their crotches and
That's
stuff.
what I'm saying.
Like that's the really fucked up part. Like if you want to show, like, okay, there's shots of them like, you know, dancing and like on a playground and different stuff. Okay, that's fine, sure. You have that juxtaposition of these kids are trying to be kids, but they're also trying to be adults, and they're in that weird parallel or, you know, thing where they're trying to kind of break free from one but also maintain their innocence or whatever.
Like coming of age kind of.
Right, like a coming of age kind of thing. That's perfectly fine, but not when it's shot like this. Not when you're not. You don't. It's just there's so much in this movie that in general is just the way that it's shot, the way the scenes that. The angles of everything. There's a couple different dance numbers where they're like, some of the moves that these children are doing is they're like humping the floor and different
They're
things.
really grinding the floor.
They are, and it's so uncomfortable.
You don't need to see the whole movie to
No,
know
you
grinding the floor at 3.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's oh god. It's so I can't. I can't. What are your guys' thoughts on it? Because I don't know.
Well, one thing I wanted to like make abundantly clear,
Mm-hmm.
and you said this already, but like, I know, at least for myself, I get this notion that we all know this kind of deal, that these high school movies or even middle school movies sometimes they're actually played by much older actors and stuff like that. And like, I actually know like one actor, and he looks very young, and he tries to get those roles a lot, and like he's pretty successful because he's old enough to do the things they need, but still like 24 or something.
Oh yeah,
but he can look
definitely.
No, these were actually children, guys. Like they're not like, oh, they're actually 18 and they're just kind of like sexualizing. I mean, that would be bad in of itself to me. That would be bad enough for me. Yeah. But I think that this is one of those things that's probably bad enough for everybody. I mean, they're actually like literally 10 through 12-year-old children. And one thing that I've been personally thinking about a lot is like, yes, it's really bad. Like what it's like we're doing as a society with this, but also like, how did it and will it into the future affect these girls? You know?
Yeah, and they say, oh, these girls had basically therapists, they had counselors on set and all these different things. I mean, maybe that's true, but it's a lot different going through this as a kid rather than going through it as an adult.
Right.
Like, I don't think these kids really knew what they were signing up for as part of the thing.
Definitely not.
You know? What are your thoughts overall, Patrick?
Honestly, like, in my opinion, I feel like there was possibly like a little trickery as far as like getting these kids to join the filming of this movie.
Yeah, like how do you think that went down with their like guardians?
I looked into a little bit of the behind the scenes and the production of it and everything. You're not wrong, because one of the things they did was they explicitly, like, they told the girls to, you know, dance and stuff as sexually as possible. And those that weren't sensual enough, they sent home. They were like, yeah, like, other things about you are good, but you can't do this
kind
right.
of messed up.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Because, again, children. I've seen a comparison, because there's a part at the end of the movie where the character is like, and she emerges as like this new character, again, 11 years old. This new character where she's wearing like leather pants and all these different things, and people were comparing that to Sandy at the end of the Grease movie. And but the difference is, for one, Sandy was an adult, and for another. Actually, no, that's pretty much, that's the big difference. Because it's the same concept, but the thing is, Sandy was an adult, and the character, Ami, was the character. I can't remember who the actress's name was. But, it's a child. Like, I'm sorry, you can't, if you want to tell this kind of story, obviously you can't get, like, 18, 19, whatever year olds to play 11-year-olds, right? But you can do these things in a way that isn't glorifying what you're trying to say is a bad thing. To me, and I've seen this comparison too, but it's true. To me, this is like filming animal abuse and then saying, oh, animal abuse is bad. We shot this to show how horrible animal abuse is. When the abuser of the animal is like the main focus. The biggest problem with it too is apparently it's trying to show that, okay, society is pushing these girls in this direction. But throughout the entire film, the girls are running into it on their own. Society's pushing them away from it. everyone except for this one creepy manager who's quite possibly a pedophile is in the film at least is pushing them away from this. No one wants them to do it, right? They have to hide this stuff from their parents. There's a scene where the main character basically commits murder. Well, she doesn't commit murder. Attempted murder. She pushes someone into water, and they could drown.
Right.
And there's a scene where she steals her phone from her brother to take nudes of herself. It's like, what the fuck is? How can you? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't understand where people are trying to say, oh, well, this is because these girls, again, they're running into it head first. And if you're trying to say, oh, well, society and media and put these ideas into their head, not the way that it's been presented, not the way that it just doesn't come off that way.
I mean, it's certainly indefensible, right?
Like, yeah, 100%.
You can't do it, and I definitely agree with your point. With Grease versus this, nothing else matters. Even if they're you were well, one's an adult, and then furthermore, well, now that's basically it. I mean, because that's
there is nothing else.
Because that's the thing that. Plus, you could do this. There are just so many things. Right? You could do this movie. You could get this message across much differently. You could just pick something else like that.
Well, so the screenplay for this won at the Sundance Festival, which is how it got picked up for Netflix. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling when people were reading the screenplay, they weren't imagining these awkward shots and stuff that were happening. One thing people try to say is, oh, well, it's supposed to be awkward. It's supposed to make you cringe. They're kids. That's the point. No. The way, I don't know, everything, the way it's shot, it just, you can say that if you look at the script, I suppose, but when you look at the way everything's presented, it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. Yeah. And if, I will say, to the credit of the writer of this and everything, if her intention really was to, point to this fire that she sees and start a conversation or whatever, that's great, that's honorable, that's fine. But your director's really fucked up. Something about, and the casting and everyone else, something. Yeah, this was bad from the start. It really was. But do you guys have any more thoughts on that, or is that pretty much it? Are we good on that?
Yeah, I mean, we're good on that because.
I do want to say just one thing real quick. To the people that are trying to make this a political thing or a race thing at all, because some people are like, oh, well, this happens all the time, but now that a black writer is doing this, you want to jump on them about it. No, it has nothing to do with that. And there's an idea being perpetuated as well that, oh, the right doesn't want you to like this movie. No, the left doesn't like it either. No one likes this. Can't we all just agree that pedophilia is bad and it doesn't have to be a political thing?
It's not progressive.
Not everything. Right? Yeah, it's not progressive. It's disgusting. It's horrible. It's something we can all band together in these horrible times and be able to say, at least we can agree that this, and that is something I will say, it did bring everyone together when it was coming out and everyone was lashing out against it.
No, that's actually a really good point because I'm usually, okay, when I first heard the notion and didn't know what it was about, I was like, we'll see. That's kind of how I was.
Yeah,
I was like, because a lot of times people will get up in arms about stuff that's when I end up seeing, I'm like, okay, not that that's not that big of a deal, and this. It shocked me.
Yeah,
I was not prepared. I thought I was ready. So I'm not saying to go watch it if you haven't seen it, but at the same time, there are some solid videos. Maybe we could link them or something.
Yeah, there's a ton of links I can put in of great other people who have broke this down really well. So yeah, I can definitely do that. But I do want to actually talk about a good thing that happened the same week.
So
actually, yeah, I know. You're especially happy for me. So I mentioned on the first thing that my favorite band is All Time Low. My boys made it to number one. Their song "Monsters" off their newest record, "Wake Up Sunshine," which was released in April actually, but the song "Monsters," and it was a single on that and everything, featuring the artist Black Bear. Woo. It is now number one on alternative radio, and I'm stoked. They didn't win the number one for the VMAs alternative music video. That was actually Machine Gun Kelly's Bloody Valentine, which, I mean, I'm really stoked for Tickets to My Downfall, so that should be dope too. but that's a punk record that MGK is working on with Travis Barker of Blink-182. So that should be dope.
So that's right up your alley.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%.
No, but that's actually a huge accomplishment though, because that's really. I mean, it's not. It's really. Have they been at number one before?
Well, so records have peaked at number one.
Okay.
But a specific song, I don't think ever has, not from my recollection. Yeah.
That's really impressive.
It's
Yeah.
interesting because All Time Low's been together for a while, right?
2003 is when they
Yeah,
formed.
exactly. So they've been together for over a decade, and
Yeah.
they're just now getting
Yeah.
like a number one song on alternative radio. It's really good for them.
Oh, 100%.
It's like
yeah.
they've come a long way.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. When I found out about that, I was like, oh good, this warms my heart. This is something positive in this shitty week. And these horrible times.
And I was happy that it was collabed with Black Bear because
Yeah.
I'm a big Black Bear fan because he really does the gamut. He like runs the gamut in his music. But what I mean is that okay, he has songs that are deep. He has songs that are sneakily deep, which I really enjoy that kind of style, right? Where it's like you could take this and just like it'd be happy, or you could kind of like read underneath and see if that's what he means, and you could get some deeper. And then he has songs where he's just like chilling, you know? It's okay to do that. Like I think that we're getting a little too like I definitely think that you gotta have like passion and you have to have like some vision and stuff like that overall and beliefs, and it's good to like music is a great communication,
Of course.
right? It's an art. There's many things to music. But sometimes, like, the communication is, hey, let's have fun right now.
Oh, yeah.
And he's really good at, like, doing that, too. So there's, like, really, like, every audience. He can hit pretty much every audience. And so I think that, like, he's just pretty versatile with that, especially his lyrics and topics and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense, too. And something that I think is... I love when artists reference their other songs in another song. So something that Black Bear does in his part... He says, tell me pretty lies, look me in my face, tell me that you love me even if it's fake. Which is from his, and that's in Monsters, but that's from his song, correct me if I'm wrong on the slogan, I believe it's I Don't Fucking Care, right?
Yeah.
Or IDFC is,
that's it.
But yeah. So, because he even says, it's called I Don't Fucking Care. Or it's called IDFC, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
No,
and he
right.
says, So I love when things like that happen too. So that's really dope. But yeah, no, it's cool. I'm stoked that they've made it. And to me, personally, they've always been at kind of the level of success that I'd like to be, where they're like pretty well known. They have a couple million, followers and stuff like that, but they're not like a household name.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, certainly,
because
somebody, you say their name, and somebody will go, oh yeah, I definitely heard of them. Like, I know who that is for sure. Could they name a song? Depends.
Yeah, exactly.
But definitely millions, right? Like
yeah.
They're big time, man.
They are, yeah.
It's like that's actually an interesting question I had, like about music and stuff. Like, what do you guys like when artists talk about? Like, what do you like to hear from your artists?
I'm gonna let Patrick handle this first, because I have a lot to say. Maybe. All right, I'll go first. So you can collect your thoughts. So I'm a very emotional person. I wear my emotions on my sleeve and different stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, that's why I relate so much to that kind of that emo, that pop punk, that rock. But I've always loved rock in general, right? I will say though, having heard Black Bear and a few other more emo rap artists, I guess, I've wanted to look into that a little bit more and I'm not big into rap. Right. But for me, the message of the song, what people are trying to say, that's the most important thing to me. If you were to ask me, the most important thing is the lyrics, because everything else is just, it's great, but it could just be background noise.
It's a means to an end to me.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
So like, that's a good question for you. Yeah. I'm curious about is like when you say that what they're saying is what you care about the most. Do you give them like liberty to say like, okay, you said this, I don't really agree with that, but I still like it because I can tell you're passionate about it, or do you tend to go towards things that just like resonate with you personally, or both?
It is a bit of both, because I think one of the things I think is awesome about music, especially, is that it can be so open to interpretation, and you can have a meaning to a song that is completely different from someone else. You know, which is why I kind of don't ever want to. I used to always want to know, like, what is the official meaning of this song? What did the artist mean? But now I'm kind of more like, I don't want to know. Because what this means to me is what it means to me.
Exactly.
And with that, yeah, you know, what it means to you. Because what it means to you, that you're right. You know, it doesn't matter what it means to someone else or what it was about when the artist wrote it, as long as it's not something, you know, blatant, right? A lot of stuff. That's the thing is I do like.
If it relates to you, it's just like
exactly.
You can take it as you please.
Right. Exactly. I like a lot of stuff that's
and
vague enough to be
yes.
implemented into different situations.
And it's beautiful because that will evolve with you.
Exactly.
And
100%.
that's like one of my favorite things.
Yes.
Like, there are songs that it's like 12 years later and I'm still listening to this all the time.
You can still connect to it on a daily basis.
But also you can look at something that you listened to like 10, 15, whatever years ago, listen to it now and be like, oh shit, this still means a lot, but it means something completely different now.
Right,
exactly.
because you grow and it grows with you.
And that is amazing, yeah,
and
100%.
Like, as our culture kind of progresses, lyrics kind of give like a different meaning sometimes as
they can
years can go by.
Yeah, they can do. Well, it's funny you say lyrics can give a different meaning. So many things, because of what we're going through right now, I'll see, whenever I see, like, I was watching, it's like Batman the Animated Series, which great show, and there would be scenes where Batman would be like, tell Robin, like, Robin, put on your mask. Because there'd be like smoke or something that they had to filter out, and I would just be like, oh my god, fuck. I would be like, shit. I can't hear that shit without thinking of now anymore. Like, it's ridiculous. But you know, of course, yeah, it is crazy how things can just completely. I mean, the entire meaning of if a movie is remade, you know, 30 years after it was originally made, or fairy tales and stuff, right? Fairy tales are constantly evolving. Fairy tales and what are they? Like the Grimm's Brothers fairy tales and stuff like that. You know, that evolved completely differently.
Man, if you read old fairy tales,
they're fucked
they
up.
are grimace.
They're dark.
They are.
Well, but also they had to be that way because they were to teach you, like, keep kids from wanting to do bad things.
I disagree that they had to be that way.
Well, they didn't have to take that route, but
right. That's
yeah.
We could do that.
They wanted to scare kids. They wanted to put the fear of God in them.
No, you know, like, I think that Cuties movie had to it had to do it that.
Jesus fuck.
But one of, like, that's what I love in movies too, right? Like, I love the idea of left up to your interpretation.
Like at the end.
Okay. Sometimes, like, you know what? Sometimes. Maybe I'm rethinking it. Because here's the thing. If they don't do it correctly, it's a cop-out, right? It's just like, I couldn't finish this. Like, because the ending is sometimes so difficult that, like, many movies that'll do that, I'm like, okay, you were just kind of struggling with this. That's what it feels like. It's just like,
I see.
You just kind of end it. But when it's a movie that's, like, extremely well done, like, for example, okay, one of my favorite movies of all time is Inception.
That's what I was going to bring up.
And Christopher Nolan is by far my favorite director. I love everything he does. Like, it's just literally incredible to me. And I was perfectly fine with the ending because it is clear. So if you don't know, if you haven't seen that movie, I won't tell you the end, I guess. I guess I won't spoil it for them.
Oh, I've seen it.
But,
that... Dude, it came out like, what, 2000...
I mean, everybody's seen it. There are plenty of movies back then that I haven't seen.
I think the rule is like 5 years.
Some new movies
recently
that were so old, but I was like, man, this is amazing. Thank God I didn't get this spoiled.
Yeah, but that's on them. That's not... I don't know. I
don't think it's on you guys, okay? I love you guys.
I don't know. I think if a movie is like...
But either way, like...
I think if a movie is like 5 or 10 years, like, you can... But whatever.
But you're not really sure whether the main, like, the protagonist, like, is back in reality or not.
Right.
At the end. But the movie itself is so masterful. Like, for one, that's like... That's a part of it for me. Like, I know that if they wanted to, they could finish it. Like, it's not that difficult for them, like, at this point. They already did everything else. Plus, at that point, like, it's one of those thinkers that now I can just continuously think about it, like, which I really like to do. Like, I'll just like mull something over. I love to get other people's opinions on it, like talk to them, and so that's why I love when things are just like left up to your interpretation, or they give you like a little bit. Like my favorite artist is J. Cole. He's a rapper, and he had this album called KOD, and man, he released 3 sentences, and then he said the rest of it is up to your interpretation. Like, I'm not gonna get in an interview. I'm not gonna get in an interview and tell you this song was for this and this song was for that. It's KOD and their initials, and they stood for. So it was either, he says, kids on drugs, king overdosed, kill our demons, and it wasn't either. It was all of those 3 things.
And
you can feel those motifs throughout the album, right? But like, there's just so much more that you can take and just like have it for yourself and have it for your life.
That's really good. Well, and I think that speaks a little bit to, so the concept of like, when you have something like people say, well, the movie's not as good as the book. That's because whatever you imagined, whatever is going to be projected, isn't going to live up to your imagination. It's just not going to. That's why, like, when you have a horror movie, as soon as the monster is seen, it's immediately less scary. It's a lot less terrible.
Unless it's a really good one.
Unless it's a really most of the time.
Sometimes though, it's like, I wish I would have never seen that.
But most of the time, because you're fixating on and your mind is running crazy with all these possibilities of what it could be, or all these different things. And that's why sometimes leaving an ending open to interpretation is good too, because it's not going to be as good as whatever you're imagining.
Exactly, because perception is reality, right?
Exactly.
And it's your reality for sure. So, but I always say this thing, which it really sounds stupid, but it's just true, which is like, perception is reality until reality is just reality. And that is like one of those times when that happens, like, because you're perceiving this, like in your example, this like monster was like so scary and everything, and you almost, at least for me, I don't even really usually like get an actual, I don't create a picture in my mind. I'm just like scared of the thing, and I don't even know. But then as soon as like the reality hits, like you're saying, and I actually see it, now my perception, now reality has set in, and it's just not as scary anymore for me.
I completely understand that. Yeah, definitely. Oh shit. You gotta love it.
But no, actually going back to Inception and Christopher Nolan, like Christopher Nolan just came out with a new movie called Tenet.
Dude, how was that?
It was so good.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that one you can't spoil.
It's like the plot of the movie is there is like a futuristic like type of like weaponry that was released back into the past. And so basically, like, bullets are moving backwards in time.
Hey, nothing that wasn't in the preview.
But, like... so, basically, bullets are moving, like, back in time and, like, forward in time. It's really weird. But... And then there is just, like, this alternate reality that, like, the main character, like, walks into, and basically all the events that he saw happen when he was in the real world basically started happening again. And it's really, that's basically like, that happens throughout the entire movie.
It sounds like one of those things that you clearly can't get into too much detail without spoiling it. So
yeah, honestly, no, it was a very confusing movie.
Too late.
So let's.
I didn't spoil anything. So that's basically the main plot.
So I would a good summation basically be action was dope and story and all that was good too?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was just really confusing if you're not paying attention.
No, yeah. See, for me, action's not enough for me, right?
I'm 100% the same.
That's why
I didn't like the Transformers movies.
So I actually don't think that was like you're like the action was dope and the story was good too. Like I hope that's not what it was, because then I'm gonna be very disappointed if that's what.
I mean, it's definitely a lot more than that, for sure.
But it sounds like there's so much you can't get in. Like there's more you want to say, but you clearly can't.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm thinking that it's Christopher Nolan. The story is going to be insane. Right? And if somebody's gonna do this movie, like, dude, like you give this movie to M. Night Shyamalan, we got another Last Airbender on our hands. But
Jesus.
if somebody's gonna do this, it's gonna be Nolan, dude. I'm really excited to hear that you are heavily endorsing this because I've been super excited about it, but have not had a chance to see it yet. So.
I literally haven't heard anything about it except the name and what a few people are saying. It's one of those things where it does look interesting, and I think I'm gonna see it, but it's not something that I necessarily feel like I need to see it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I'll tell you a movie that I did see recently, though, and this came out like a year ago, but it was Knives Out. I'm not sure if you guys saw it.
Okay.
You liked it? Okay. You've seen it too?
I heard it was good.
It was really good.
Love that movie.
I was really impressed and surprised.
Too.
Because,
Me too.
for one, the tone was so... Like, okay, I go into, like, it's a whodunit movie. It's a mystery movie,
Yeah,
right?
it's a murder mystery. It's like a mansion
So I
murder
thought,
mystery.
yes, it absolutely
It's like Clue, man.
So, yeah, exactly. Well, and I was thinking it was going to be like I was going to be like kind of dark and like, oh, this murder happened. But it was a very playful kind of tone. And it was so cool. It kind of balanced this darkness and comedy, kind of like if you ever saw like Lemony Snicket's back in the day. Lemony Snicket's a series of unfortunate events.
Okay, saw it or read it?
Saw it. So the movie with Jim Carrey.
Hated it.
Okay. I was scared of it when I was a kid,
honest,
so
I think
can't.
probably the same reason that you are liking it is probably the reason I hate it. Here's why. Did you read the books?
No,
So-
and I didn't see the movie.
and
I only saw it when I was a kid.
And let me say this actually, like this wasn't one of those where I was like, oh, it wasn't as good as the books. I do have that sense of it, but the problem for me was that, especially as a kid, and maybe if I read the books now, it wouldn't be this way. But like, Count Olaf is sinister, bro. Like the villain in this series and the books, like when he is there and you know he's there and you know he's gonna show up, but you are just like, oh no. Like, here we go again. Like, these kids are in for it. Like, and you're resonating with them, especially at that age, because we're like about their age and they're doing incredible things and all that. But it's like, this guy's, it's chilling. And in the movie, it's Jim Carrey. Then they do the show. It's Neil Patrick.
I was gonna ask how was Neil.
Okay. But the thing is, what I realized is like it's for kids.
Yeah.
More so, and so that's probably like they wanted that tone. That's how they interpreted it.
With Knives Out, though, I think Clue is a good thing to compare it to.
Dude, Knives Out.
I think it was the 80s or 90s. It had Tim Curry as in Clue, and he just chewed up the scenery as he always does. Anyway, Knives Out, great movie. Tenet, great movie. So, welcome to the Now Film Review.
But the thing about Tenet is that the main guy in it is also in this series called Ballers. And that's an HBO series, and I'm talking about that because it doesn't really matter what the show's about, but the point is that The Rock's in it.
Oh, okay.
And dude, that's my guy.
But I thought they canceled that show.
Yeah, they did, but he was still
gotcha.
one of the main people in it for years. You know,
that's honestly unfortunate because I heard that was actually a really good show.
It was really good, man. If you like sports and stuff, like because the thing is, like, for one, it had like a lot of actual professional athletes in it, and two, like, you got to see the other side of sports. Like, you got to see some sports, but like the main thing that it's about is like somebody being an agent.
Okay.
And so like what they have to go through and all the turmoil of that, and I think you could watch it with whatever way you want to do it, right? You could just watch it for entertainment, or you could watch it and say like, give me a glimpse into how insane this freaking world is for these people. Like, we just kind of like see them as like, oh, they're superstars or whatever, and I know that like from a money standpoint, obviously they don't have to go through much from that, and so I don't want to, I really don't want to like say like, oh, it'd be better to not, it's harder for them. No, but there are things that are difficult, right?
Dude, it's hard constantly being in the public eye. Like, I mean, that shit will fuck you up. I heard some really good advice recently where someone said, if you become famous, get a therapist. Get a counselor, get someone that can like help you through, because like there's gonna be some shit that you just can't deal with on your own. Yeah, and there's like it's fucking crazy. What I do want to point out, by the way, I see with Tenet. By the way, it's Tenet. I kept pronouncing it Tenet, like David Tennant. It's Tenet, and Batman's in it. Yeah. Robert Pattinson. Yeah. Which, real quick, by the way, I think he's gonna do a good job. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for his performance. I'm not,
but I hope he does, because Batman's my favorite. So
yeah, Yeah.
But I think that's just how I have to be, so I don't get let down.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know, because
I was not a big fan of Ben Affleck. I know you didn't like Christian Bale. Which
it's not that I. No, well, see,
Christian Bale was amazing.
Here's the thing: it's not that I didn't like Christian as Bruce Wayne and as Batman in general. Really good. I just didn't like the voice. I couldn't get past the fact that he sounded like he was gargling marbles.
See, I love the voice, and I love that.
Couldn't
Like,
do it.
it's
Sorry.
definitely like a lot of stuff, like many parodies, which he was like.
Yeah.
He was so fine with them. That's why I think he would die.
Yeah,
He's in interviews like laughing so hard about like all the parodies people did about it.
Yeah.
I just like that he took a chance and that it seemed to pay off for the general public at least. People enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I totally.
But I understand, like.
But I'm currently going through
and stuff.
Well,
I can
not
understand
gimmicky. It just felt, I don't know. It just felt weird. But I'm currently going through all the like animated Batman stuff and everything right now. So, and branching off to other DC superheroes, just because I'm not as well versed in DC as I am Marvel, and I'm changing that now. And yeah, but anyway, so. I guess I don't have much more to say on that.
Well, when you're going through the series, like, have you played any of the? Are you playing any of the games as well?
Well, no, not Batman, except for the Arkham games, simply because those are great. Those are specifically I like the first two a lot. Asylum and Arkham City are great.
Really, really good.
Arkham Origins and Arkham Knight, I'm sorry, they just let me down. Although I am looking forward to the Arkham Knight's game that they're releasing. I have problems with some of the gameplay design and the way they made Batgirl look and different things like that, but overall I'm optimistic for it. I wouldn't even say I'm cautiously optimistic. I am optimistic overall. I just don't. There are some design choices that I'm not the biggest fan of.
Fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Another game I'm actually really interested in is Black Ops Cold War coming out.
Okay.
The new Call of Duty game.
Yeah, you're a Call of Duty fiend.
Yeah,
you guys didn't know. New Vision's got a game master on today, so
yes, sir.
Patrick Dillon is he's incredible at these guys. You got to treat him.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, Black Ops Cold War. I'm hoping it's really good. Like, honestly, they tried to remake Modern Warfare this year, and it didn't turn out too hot. Not gonna lie.
Gotcha.
I mean, they came out with like a lot of like old maps and old like weapons from like previous Modern Warfares.
Yeah, I've actually played it, which I don't generally play these, but I actually did play it, and I remembered some because the only one that I played for any length was Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
And so like there were some matches. I think Rust was there and some other things that I was like, oh, this is kind of familiar. I still had like a 0 KD, but
it's okay. My KD on any game is not exactly great either. So.
Yeah, 10 plus, but yeah.
But
I've gotten like 1 if I'm lucky.
Not
so
flexing,
of course, I've always played like with people that knew what they were doing, like with friends, in like settings that everyone else played the game. And I don't play any first person games. I just don't like the first person perspective. I can't.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to ask, what is a good like starting point for someone that just hasn't been able to get into those games before? And to be fair, I've never played like a campaign mode by myself. It's always been in that environment with a bunch of other people who had the game and knew what they were doing. What would be a good like starting point for me, or anyone else maybe even listening that doesn't know what the fuck? What's an FPS?
Are you talking about like a specific game to start off with, or
with Call of Duty? We'll go with that, or with any first-person game, I guess. Whatever. Either or.
I mean, I started playing Call of Duty, I think, for second Modern Warfare, third Modern Warfare, something like that.
Right. Modern Warfare 3, would that be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I mean,
honestly, kudos to you, man, because a lot of people would have said you got in late, and you've managed to surpass many of those haters.
Because like I think MW3 came out in my 8th grade year, I want to say, and then Black Ops 2 was my freshman year. I'm pretty sure. But honestly, those 2 games are probably like the best 2 games to start off with. As far as like getting in Call of Duty and first person stuff, I don't really play any other first person games.
There's not many other there's not many other types.
Yeah.
There's plenty of games like Wolfenstein and there's
exactly.
but there's also like Silent Hill and stuff like that too, and
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the kind of. Even I think Resident Evil 7 is first person, if I remember correctly. That's Biohazard.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That one's yeah. So yeah, some are.
By the way, Biohazard is like one of the scariest games.
Is
It was pretty freaky.
I never played through it.
We watched some gameplay, and just the beginning. I've never played the game. I've never. I'm too much of a pussy to play a horror game. I can't. I can watch something horror, and I can barely even do that. But I can't make the person move on my own and bring them to what I know is gonna kill them or whatever. Like, no, I can't do it. But
what's funny is those games somehow the reality is scarier than what you thought. Like you go around the corner.
Actually that's right. Yeah, I would agree. Because there was a game. You can keep telling the people about Biohazard. I'd love to hear more about it. But there was a game specifically that I played that scared the shit out of me. We watched some stuff because you're given a message from like your wife, right? Who's been dead for 3 years. Is that correct in the Biohazard?
No, like she's missing.
Right.
So it's basically like an old video that he gets from his girlfriend. Like I think from like a few years past or like something recent before she went missing or whatever. Just so that he can give himself confidence that he can go find her, basically. And so, basically, like, he finds, like, this old abandoned house, and you have to go through this old abandoned house, and...
Already nope.
It's just really creepy in general, because when I first started playing it, when it first came out, I played in the pitch darkness of my room by myself.
What is wrong with you?
And
I can actually resonate though.
I wish I had not done that.
Dude, that actually it's really interesting because I was a really, really scared kid. Like I was very scared of movies and stuff. Like to the point where like I couldn't watch Lord of the Rings when I was little because I was too scared of the orcs and stuff like that. And actually, like funny enough, like around the time when I started to like want to date more, I was like, I'm gonna have to go to these movies, and I'm gonna have to like, I can't be like all scared in these movies, right? So I just started forcing myself to start watching these, and that's what I would do, man. I would sit by myself and watch these stupid movies, and like Jeepers Creepers 2, bro.
Yes.
And it was just like it definitely desensitized me to where. Even now, like, I'll get scared. Like, I'll be super scared, but for some reason, my body just doesn't move. Like I don't jump when I get startled. Mm-hmm. I just sit there. So I look dope. I'm not though. I'm
inside, just like me.
I'm free. Have you guys gone through like the haunted houses? You guys ever done that?
No, but I hear they're actually really big here. I have a friend who's like super into this shit.
Like
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which ones do you really have you been to and stuff?
I've gone to both Hellstream and Halloween Horror Nights.
Okay, perfect. Would love your input. Which is better?
So, if you're looking for more, like movie-based like haunted houses, go to Universal.
Right. Which is scarier?
Honestly, Halloween Horror Nights does a better job at scaring people.
Oh,
in my opinion.
Well, that makes me not want to go to Hellstream because I went to Halloween Horror Nights twice.
Yeah.
And it wasn't not. I'm not gonna say it wasn't scary. Like it definitely was. Like going to the houses and stuff. One of the best parts for me is I was a huge Walking Dead fan at the time, especially. Yeah. And both of those years, Walking Dead was a theme. It was like back in 2012 and then 2013 when. Like,
I think I went back then.
Dude,
too.
and like the theme music would come on, and I was just like, I just wanted to go to those houses. But here's the problem: like I went to this haunted house when I was in high school called Warehouse 31. And if you've ever been to Halloween Horror Nights, you know that like it takes like maybe 8 minutes or something to go to the houses. Like once you actually get in, it's like they're really well done. They're really well done.
They usually make the house pretty big, so you walk.
So it takes about that long.
Yeah.
Warehouse 31 takes half an hour.
My goodness.
Minimum. So it can take longer because they will trap you in rooms. They will, and the point is that you go through 31 rooms.
Oh my god.
And they'll trap you in rooms. They'll like I was going through it and I was with someone and I was just like, she was getting really scared, and I was like, oh, like, don't worry, Dave, like, he can't touch you. Dude followed us for like 5 or 6 rooms, going like, I'm not touching you. Like, so close. I was like, okay, this was a huge mistake. This is the scariest part, and I brought this upon myself. Yeah. Very sadist that way.
I did find the game, by the way. So the game I played, this came out, okay, it's called Outlast. Came out in 2014. And I played it in, was it 2018 or 20, it was either 2018 or 2019, whatever. I played it a couple years after it came out with my roommate at the time. We did the same thing you did with Biohazard, where we had it pitch black in his room and all this shit. And
that's the way to go, man.
I tried playing it for like 5 seconds. I took control, and I couldn't move more than like 5 or 6 feet. I was like there was a little like platforming section I got across, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I know platformers, but like I do. I love platforming. Which, by the way, well, I'll get to that in a minute. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it. You're in this first of all, you're in an asylum, which unless it's Arkham Asylum, I don't want to be in any fucking asylum.
You want to be in Arkham Asylum?
No. I mean playing and as Batman or Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, of course.
But
Batman's invincible, baby.
Well, yeah, pretty much. But no, you're in this asylum and you're investigating as this reporter. You're this freelance reporter, and you're checking out this weird shit going on. And there's this like creepy doctor dude who's also like this mutant creature who like captures you and starts like cutting pieces of your body off and stuff when you get captured. And it's fucked. No, not my cup of tea. However, though, speaking of first person and platformers, I did try to get into the game Mirror's Edge, and even that I couldn't. So that's what part of me makes me think I don't know if I could do even first person at all. But
it's a good thing games are so versatile, right?
It is, yeah.
Like I'm super into Metroidvanias.
I'm so. I can't. I'm so picky with my games.
Yeah, but you haven't played Hollow Knight though. That's your issue. That's the greatest game.
You know what though?
Greatest game of all time.
I've played. I've heard really good things about Hollow Knight. I really have. But no, I have played a game called Dust and Elysian Tale, or an Elysian Tale, something like that, where that's a Metroidvania, but you have a map that tells you like where to go and shit. So I'm okay with that. I don't like having to figure out where to go, what to do on my own. That's honestly.
Oh, then yeah, you're not a Metroidvania guy.
I like honestly, I like either an amount of hand holding or an amount of simplicity that it's enough that it's like, okay, just go here and.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. I just like.
Yeah.
I like the freedom of it.
Yeah.
Because like, when I played through the game, my brother had already played through the game, and like my path that I took was just vast. Like I was telling him every time I'm here, and he's just like, I did not go there until way further in the game, or like, you haven't been here yet. It was kind of like one of those things. And actually, to your point, yeah, man, like definitely spent many hours because like I happened upon an area of the game that I just like was not upgraded enough for yet. But I love that they let you do that because it's just fair. Like. It's like a beautiful amount of difficulty, but also progression. Like you can always progress, but you just have to fight for a little bit. It's like once you do something like the endorphin release, which is kind of dumb, I guess. Maybe talking about like something like this video game I'm playing by myself, but like it's just like the best. Like I can't wrap my head around like how good it feels like once you finally do something, because the difficulty will come in multiple situations, right? Like. Where to go versus sometimes it'll be a really difficult platforming section, sometimes it'll be a really difficult boss or something like that.
I will say I never got I don't get like super immersed in games where I'm like I'm in it and everything, right? And I feel for like everything going on and all that. Not most of the time, at least. If it's story heavy, yes. But the gameplay I don't get that too much invested in. And maybe it's just because the kind of games that I play, right? It tends to be more. But you talk about exploration and stuff. You're talking about the guy who, granted, I was a child at the time, but even still, you're talking to the guy who couldn't even make it past Kokiri Forest in Ocarina of Time. I couldn't figure out where to go, and I couldn't do it.
You were a kid, though.
I was a kid,
Dude,
but
there
still.
were so many games I went back and I played, and I was like, I don't know why I thought this was difficult, but then I realized I was a child.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah.
I definitely was ready to grind the floor at that time, but not play Ocarina of Time.
God damn it. Bringing it back. Jesus Christ. So a common way that a lot of people are kind of killing time right now. I know there are a lot of states, like I think in California is one of them, where gyms aren't allowed to be open. I think that's one of the things that's still closed. But luckily, where we are here in Florida, they're actually still one of the things I can appreciate about Florida, we actually have our gyms open. And
luckily and not luckily, but I'm happy. Personally.
Yeah. Well, and we all actually have a membership well, you guys have one to the same gym, and I have one to a different gym right now.
Crunch Fitness, fastest growing gym in America.
Is it?
I think in the world, maybe.
Is
I'm
it?
making that
Wow.
up. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure in America, at least.
I'm making it up. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass.
But in America, I'm pretty sure it's the fastest growing.
Yeah.
Because the model that they have is really, it's really smart.
So what is that? What is that model they have?
So for one, they have like a minimum that you can spend to. I'm not exact. It's some millions. Like millions is the minimum that you can spend when you're opening a facility. Mm-hmm. And obviously they give you like suggestions and things like that. But then like similar to Planet Fitness or whatever, like which is obviously a very popular gym. Those are everywhere, right?
That's where I go.
You get that's where Christian goes. You get the $10 memberships going on. But the thing is that like. It has, I'm sure, but on a mass scale, that hasn't really been done for gyms that have like an intense amount of weights as well. So like, that was my knock on Planet Fitness. Like I went to Planet Fitness for a while just because it was $10, and I was like, I'm home from college. Can we go to Planet Fitness?
Sure.
But they don't have a freestanding bench, and I mean it's like much more for cardio base. So I mean, obviously they have like weights
which is
and stuff.
Perfect for me. I'm a cardio person myself, and also the reason I go to Planet Fitness so specifically is just proximity. It's literally right across from where I live.
Dude,
I couldn't get much better.
That's definitely a big.
That is very much my reason for going there specifically. If there was a Crunch, I'd fucking go to Crunch. Or funnily enough, if there was a Planet Fitness there, but there was a Crunch in the plaza right next to me, I'd go to Crunch. It's closer.
And to be honest,
the closer it is, the better for me.
I'm not gonna lie. Like you will see your classic roid rage people up in Crunch. Like,
I'm sure.
You'll definitely have to deal with them much more than
Logan and I have seen plenty like huge
beefcakes. Yeah,
but they're
and.
But I will say, and I know, and this is kind of, I guess, one of the things they pride themselves on a little bit, but Planet Fitness really does have, like, you go in there and I see people of all body types. And I think that's really cool. You see people that are just starting out. You see people that have been hitting it for a while. You see all kinds of different people, right? You see scrawny people want to get bigger. You see heavier set people wanting to, lose weight. You see all these different, kind of groups. And it's awesome. It's really cool.
I like that, too. I definitely think... what's funny is, like, I felt when I went to Planet Fitness, like, I was, like, I like to lift weights. I've always, been, like, a kind of a heavy lifter in weights and stuff, and, like, I felt like I was getting looks for, like, I put my weight down a little too hard, so I know they have those classic local arm, which I never actually set that off, but I'm kind of surprised sometimes.
I've seen people I've heard people, like, slam them down, and they're still...
they're, like, trying.
I'm like... Okay, I guess that thing doesn't work. Like, I don't know what to say. Yeah.
Yeah, thing with Crunch, like, I had a Planet Fitness membership before.
Yeah.
But I would literally have to drive like 20 minutes to the closest one.
They wouldn't do that.
See, that's the only thing, that's the only reason I didn't really go to the gym as much as I am now.
So Crunch is closer.
Crunch, it's like a 10-minute drive.
Yeah.
Like, unless I get stuck at every single red light, which I seem to do every time I go, but
there's a thing about that where I believe it's like the 10 minutes are the first 10 minutes are the most important or something like that, like, or the most likely for you to decide, I'm not going to do this. Mm-hmm. So if it's 10 minutes or closer to you, you're more likely to actually go.
Yeah.
And so that's why you see so many, like, just about every housing development, and they have a plaza. That plaza has a gym.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like right here, and I'm already here for my groceries or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, like, what is motivating you guys to, like, why now? Why are you guys starting to, like, really get back into fitness? Like,
well, for me, it actually was Patrick invited me to his Planet Fitness. And we were gonna go. We never did.
Classic.
Yeah, and I like running in different forms of. I've always liked different forms of cardio, but I've always done it outside for the longest time. And
more interesting for sure.
With how ungodly hot it is here in Florida,
Ugh.
I realized, you know what? If I can do this same thing and have the not sweltering heat, you know, and have a cool environment, I'd probably be more motivated to do it. I'd get more out of it, and I'd be able to go longer.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, I have. So I've decided, you know what? I'm just gonna do this. You know, specifically what I use is I use the elliptical. I tried using treadmill. I'm just not a fan of treadmills. You know, I like running like in real life, and I like hiking a lot too, and things like that.
Love hiking.
But
So what you're saying is like you always kind of had like the motivation was like already there. Like I
Yeah.
mean, you wanted to, you had
Yeah,
to decide
yeah.
you liked it, but that was just kind of like now it's going back to your convenience thing. Like,
Yeah,
it's
honestly.
right here, and it's like much better than the blistering heat that is Florida.
yeah, and I don't get blisters on my feet all the time either. That's a good
Oh.
plus. That's good.
What about you, Pat?
Yeah, for me, it's I've always tried to find a consistent partner to go with me, but
That's really
I could
difficult.
never find that
Really difficult.
until like I know like for a while you're just like, oh yeah, they're opening a new Crunch in Trinity soon, and like
Yeah, I've been
I
hyping
know
that
you were
Crunch.
you were a part of Anytime Fitness, right?
I was before.
So-
Not nearly as good as Crunch, I will say.
Yeah.
Less crowded.
Like
No.
I think Anytime Fitness is a little smaller than Crunch, right?
Way smaller.
Yeah,
but
I think-
but it's also franchise, so like Anytime will be much different in
Okay.
other places. But
Yeah,
yeah,
for
the one,
sure.
but most of the time, yeah.
That real quick, by the way, that was one of my reasons for not going. I thought Anytime Fitness was the only one because it's called Anytime Fitness. I thought, well, I guess they're the ones that are actually open 24 hours.
24/7,
So
yeah.
I thought because
Right.
I work like a not 9 to 5. I work 10 to 6, but still, I figured, well, gyms aren't going to be open by the time that I, whatever. Because I like to do my workout in the evening. And
Even so, most gyms are open until like 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Even
and I
like LA.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
So when they told me like, oh yeah, we're open 24/7, I'm like, what?
That's
Oh, okay,
perfect.
awesome, cool.
but for me, it was a big deal because I'm definitely a 2 a.m. lifter. I don't
Okay.
know what it is about that. It's something, I don't know.
Do you guys ever do that
Maybe
together? Because I know you go around like
Can't do it at Crunch because
Yeah,
Oh.
they're one of the gyms that closed
They're a
at
closer.
11. So
They're a closer.
I see.
They're wanting to. I'm pretty sure they've been 24/7 in other places, but they're not
sure.
right now because of
Interesting.
Corona.
Yeah.
Is what
Yeah, that
because they
makes
can't be
sense.
there to check your temperature and stuff.
Yeah.
Because 24/7, like oftentimes they won't staff it at a certain time.
Well, because I know what they do. What they have at Planet Fitness is they have these. They call them sanitation stations where they have paper towels and they have this like spray,
Yeah, they have the spray
almost
bottle.
like Windex or whatever, right?
It's
So
all-purpose spray.
Yeah, so you
Yep.
spray that on, and you're supposed. Now, really, truthfully, you should be wiping down your equipment after you're done anyway.
100%.
Because like
People don't
For
do
sure.
it's
it.
fucking gross.
And I hate
It's
it.
disgusting.
Yeah.
I hate when people don't do it.
And
And people still aren't doing it even with the fucking coronavirus.
They're not, and it's
I was
ridiculous.
when I tried the bike yesterday, which I didn't like. wasn't my favorite. But right behind me, I could see because you're like in front of a mirror.
You got the
right?
mirror, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
of
see right behind me 3 people all on like right next to each other on different ellipticals, and one of them just tore down the sign that said reserved.
Oh,
for
yeah,
social
it's
distancing.
social distancing.
And I'm like, you fucking assholes! Like,
Yep.
this is why this shit's gonna
Literally.
keep going. People keep doing
Exactly.
shit like this.
I agree.
Like fucking, and if, and these people don't wipe their shit down and stuff, and it's consideracy. Is that the right word? Being considerate is just a very important thing to me, and a lot of people don't do it. It pisses me
Yeah.
off. So,
It is to me too.
but I do like. What did it say? So I'd never been to a gym before. I had very
Oh my
low.
goodness.
I have very low standards because I
My God.
literally.
He was calm,
We're
too.
all in
He
a
was
group
calm.
chat, and I tell these like I can't even. I'm like, yo, it's so crazy. I got to just for $10 a month, full access to this gym whenever I want the equipment. I got to fill up my water bottle for free.
This man goes, you guys don't even believe the perks. I fill up my water bottle
for free.
twice.
Not once, twice.
2 times. And we're just in the group text like, at the water
I need to clarify what was so amazing to me about that, and I did say this in the chat
came
too,
down
was that it wasn't like
cascaded
it wasn't like
into
the
it.
water fountains like when you're in fucking high school and shit, where you like hold it and you like have to press that thing and you know
No,
it's
it's
the
a fountain that actually
dispenser.
like you press it on, you push it on a sensor and it just comes down. I'm like,
Like
oh my
a
God.
waterfall, man, right out of Fiji. Just right pooling into your water for free, guys. For only $10 a month. Personally, I just go there for the water.
Best water I've ever tasted, man.
Whew, boy, hey, if you're out of water and you have a Planet Fitness thing, just fucking there you go.
Bro, have you got the pizza?
I haven't. I've heard that you get a free pizza like every month.
Yeah.
I think they only do it
There's
like
no
once
way
a month or something.
Yeah, once a month. But
I
I feel
wouldn't.
like there's no way they're doing that right now.
I don't know. I mean, I've been going for probably about a month now. I haven't been told anything about it, but I really don't care. Like I'm so, like. To me, it's kind of
counterintuitive.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say counterproductive, but yeah, it's counterintuitive.
Yeah,
exactly.
Probably better term. For
Yeah, whatever. But like, 100%. It's just completely like, oh yeah, here, go to a gym and let us give you this thing that's loaded with carbs and shit.
Yeah.
We're going to the gym.
You know how Pat's
Congratulations.
eating his pizza right now from Blaze.
He was earlier.
I love
yeah.
Blaze though.
Oh, Blaze. Yeah, I still
It's
haven't.
no
been.
pun intended.
hey.
It's fire. It's fire. No pun intended.
Dough
Yeah.
is vegan, so
What about what?
apparently like their dough is like vegan.
Oh, cool. Is it cauliflower or something?
They have
They
that
have
option.
cauliflower, they have keto, they're
and that's I get the
gluten-free.
keto crust
You're
there.
keto.
That's what I get
Is
just
the
for the
keto
low
crust
carbs.
good?
What happened?
It's good, yeah. It doesn't taste like pizza, man, but it's
Really?
like as far as like if you're craving pizza and you're trying to like get shredded, it's good. It's good.
yeah.
I mean, it's like it'll fulfill your craving at least.
Okay.
Just put all the meat on there. I'm a high protein, low carb kind of dieter. So.
Yeah, I load my pizza. with
Like
meat.
I'm fine with like red meat and stuff like I'll eat bacon and.
Oh yeah.
I actually tried veganism for a couple months.
Goodness.
Didn't last. It was
I think it depends on the motivation behind it.
well, yeah, I guess. I mean, it was fine, but it was just the fact that
You couldn't eat meat.
yeah, I
or
do
other
like-
sort animal products.
yeah, anything animal products. And here's the thing, like I love Oreos and shit like that, but like you can only eat so many of like things like that. Like it's
That's what's, I would be I'm eating Oreos. I'm on the Oreo diet, guys. Double stuffed only.
like no, but I mean like as like
No,
a
I just
snack
don't
kind of
care.
thing, as a dessert, you know. But like, yeah, man. I mean, I like pizza, and I tried vegan pizza. I
Pizza's
tried
like
all
one of
these
my
other
favorite
different things. Pizza is my favorite food too.
Yeah.
But I tried all these different
Well,
things.
steak, but-
I had like, I would do things like I would get a bean and rice burrito from like Taco Bell and have them not put the fucking cheese in, and I would do all these other things, and I would get all this like these vegetables and just like mix them together, cook them, and then put like garlic and other stuff on them to season them,
Okay.
and like it just I couldn't keep. I was having like the same
that's
thing
a
every
lot,
day.
bro. Yeah.
I, was like, I
That's,
couldn't keep doing that, so it was
yeah.
like that's a lot. What were we gonna say?
No, that just specifically
Just
is a
doing
lot.
all that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're doing
yeah.
all that, and it's monotonous after a while.
Yeah, no, that's yeah.
Because for me, like,
And I was having water all the time. And I have water a decent amount, and water's good for you, obviously, but like with every fucking meal, it gets pretty, that or like, what was it?
was that a thing? In
Like,
you can't
well, like I wasn't
drink?
having tea. I mean, like I would
Is
have tea, but like you,
non-vegan? I
well,
don't know what the-
no, I mean it's fine, but like you can have. You could have like Coke or something, but like for me, because I wasn't doing it for some moral reason of like the animals, but I was doing it for like, I mean I still wear leather and shit, so I'm not gonna, what kind of hypocrite would I be,
It's
But
for the animals.
it
Check
was-
out my boots, yo.
It was
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
it was for my health.
Oh,
it was
okay.
for-
Yeah, well, that yes. Then yeah.
yeah.
Ice
To
drinks.
just get in a better shape and shit, so.
Ice drinks.
Yeah,
Ice
ice
those?
drinks?
Ice, like
What
the
is it?
brand. It's like called Ice. They're like flavored.
Oh, yeah,
water.
yeah.
Those are great alternatives.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Got a lot of vitamins and stuff. I know somebody's screaming right now, like those are the worst things.
Oh god, no! You know what a weird thing is? At my old middle school, I'm not sure if you remember this, Patrick. People used to take those fucking Crystal Light packets and try to snort them.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And
People would-
you know the pixie stick.
Yeah.
Pixie sticks
Oh,
too.
dude.
Yeah.
The
That's
pixie
like,
stick store.
why are you doing that?
Right
It's not
of
going to give you.
Or
passage.
smash up Smarties.
Right?
Oh god, yes, the Smarties.
Dude,
Oh, that was the big
you
one.
remember smoking the Smarties? You
Yes.
like crush it like
Yeah,
this.
people
Yes.
would do that too.
blow a Smartie O-ring. yeah, bro, we're cool, man.
Like, why? It doesn't give you nearly the
You're
same
the coolest
effect.
dude in
but,
school if you could do that.
Oh, dude.
Not that
Do
I
O's
would.
with us.
Bitches lining up, bro. That's probably the first time on this pod that people knew I was black.
Hi, I'm Logan. Bitchin' love.
Biracial guys, though.
Yeah.
That's why it's the white side that you're
Dude,
normally
fuck.
hearing.
That's it, yeah. So I guess that's a pretty good place to end it for everybody.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
haven't tried veganism, Christian definitely recommends it. So
Oh, yeah,
go
100%.
out there and do that.
Yeah.
We'll definitely try to link one of those like videos.
Oh, I'm gonna link a few of them probably. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, the ones that I think are really good.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, Christian, I really appreciate you
And meaty.
having us on, man, and it was a really fun time as I had expected.
Yeah,
and I'm
you-
excited to do this when both founders can be here. Too.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
love to have Jordan back.
We missed
and have
Jordan
him
this week
all
for
four
sure.
Yes,
of
we
us.
do.
He's pretty awesome on the pod. So.
He is. Yeah, we'd
Love
love to
that
have him
man.
back. But any word from you, Patrick? Dude, you gotta drop your Insta. You gotta drop your Insta for these people.
Yes, guys, Insta, all gaming. I usually only post Call of Duty and Rocket League stuff. I'm basically a sweat at Rocket League. Not gonna flex on you guys, but I kind of just did anyway. But yeah, my handle is Mustang Sniper 14. Go look it up. Hopefully I can
Mustang
get it.
Sniper 14. I
Yes,
like
sir.
it.
Remember the name.
And the E in Sniper is a 3, so just to let you know.
Ooh, mic drop, bro. That's classic.
Yeah, it's dope. It's good, man. Yeah, Mustang Sniper with an E instead of a 3. Oh fuck, I fucked that up. Mustang Sniper with a 3 instead of an E, and yeah,
14.
14. Mustang Sniper 14. So there you go. That's it. That should be everything from all of us. Like I said, would love to have Jordan back. Maybe he'll be back next time. We'll see how it goes, but. Hope you guys liked it. If you don't, I hope you find something that you do like. And that's all from the rest of us. Anything else anyone else wants to say?
Stay easy, everybody, and feel free to reach out with questions or comments. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
no, if you
love
guys have
we
anything,
actually do
yes.
read those too. So
Give us new
100%.
ideas to
Comment,
talk about.
like, subscribe, all that good shit. It helps everything. Helps you guys get to see more of this shit and all that, or listen to, whatever. Anyway, that's all from us. See you guys. Peace.